Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Losing my job and taking a break from the podcast at the same time felt so weird to me, made me feel a little lost. Thankfully, BetterHelp has been a great way for me to talk to a therapist and make sure I'm in a great headspace during this time.
If you guys aren't familiar, BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. You'll be matched to a therapist usually within 48 hours so you can get started fast. And if your first therapist isn't a match, don't worry. BetterHelp allows you to switch therapists for free until you find the right match. I actually had to switch my therapist twice before I found my current one, and when I tell you, it is so worth it to find somebody who truly understands me and can help navigate my anxiety.
It's super simple to get started. You can use our link, betterhelp.com/betweenusgirlies. You answer a few questions, and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles like yours.
One of the great things about BetterHelp is you can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable.
BetterHelp is truly the easiest way possible to talk to a therapist, and I'm so happy Between Us Girlies has a code to share the therapy experience with our viewers. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/betweenusgirlies during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month.
Thank you, BetterHelp. Hi guys, and welcome back to Between Us Girlies. I'm Casey.
I'm Bran.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Bailey.
And we have a fun episode today where we are going to talk about some of our worst choices in life.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we have to talk about our worst choice from this weekend. Who wants to take it away?
Well, Friday night, you guys, we saw the film Trap, and it was quite literally a trap. That's what I'll say. I don't want to spoil for anybody who is unfortunately making the mistake to plan on seeing it, but I would recommend.
We need to spoil.
Yeah. But I feel like we need to set the scene that like this has been an anticipated movie, much like Long Legs that we talked about in a fucking episode ago. We have terrible luck with scary movies. We were like, we have to go see this movie. We made a girlies date out of it. We bought tickets 3 fucking days in advance.
Yeah,
And they were $18.
$75 for 4 tickets. Mm-hmm. Are you actually joking?
It's sad because there's in our group chat, I literally said, I have high hopes for this. It's an M. Night Shyamalan film. It's going to be better than Long Legs. And it was better than Long Legs in the sense.
Marginally.
Like, it was a thriller.
Yes.
Like, it was, as a thriller, suspenseful. Like, we were suspensed at a few points, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
What I said to describe the difference between the two is like, at least with Trap, there was a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I have an idea of what the movie was about, and I can reference things. I still have no fucking idea what Long Legs was about.
Right.
Don't know a single thing, can't tell you anything that happened. Don't know.
The bottom line is don't see either of those films.
Yeah,
They're
we just
terrible.
saved you $40 for going on a date night here.
Actually, all you have to do is watch the trailer, and you quite literally saw the film.
Yeah.
Like, no spoilers. Like, and I mean, I feel like everyone said with the trailer, like, oh, we hate trailers nowadays because it says the whole film, and like, you want to think in the back of your mind, no, it doesn't.
No, for this one, it quite literally, the trailer is the movie. Just watch the trailer and you saw the movie.
Yeah. But before that, we had a smashing good meal at Chili's.
Yes, we did.
Oh my God.
The only problem, which I'm mad at us, is that we went so fucking late. So we literally went at like 10 p.m. So none of us were even like that hungry. Like we ate, but I'm trying to go to Chili's when I am hungry because like my chicken tenders looked so good and they're gluten. So I like wanted to make it worth it. And I was like, damn, I'm not even hungry enough to eat these right now.
Yeah.
But we did get the fried mozzarella sticks.
Oh, those were so delicious.
And I just saw they came up with a new Nashville hot honey fried mozzarella stick.
We've got to run it back.
I know. We did some real American stuff though, and I got a fat ass margarita at Chili's on a Friday. Like I wasn't even drinking. I feel like there was really no alcohol in it, but I was thinking because we go out a lot, and like I thought it was gonna be a small little glass, like your typical margarita. No, a full on sombrero.
It's a big gulp.
No, it was massive, like Tallahassee. But no, it was good.
Yep.
It was a good night. We were giggling.
It was still fun to go. Like my boyfriend was asking me the next morning. He was like, "Are you mad you went? Like, did you guys waste your Friday night?" And I was like, as much as it sucked, like, no, it was so fun to like go see a shitty movie and then drive home and just talk about how bad we thought it was.
I had
like
a great time.
That was one of the best days of my summer.
I just wish we had known it was going to be bad going into it because I think I would have thought it was a lot funnier.
Yeah.
But the whole time I was trying for it to be good, and I could just hear Lindsay and Bailey cracking up on the side of me, and I was like, "This movie is garbage." garbage.
Well, me and Brandon were in a stall trap in the beginning because we sat down. We went to this damn theater because we wanted lounging chairs and recliners. Of course, me and Brandon sat down. Click, click, don't work. So Brandon literally says, like, we're literally in a waiting room right now.
Yep, my legs were crossed. I was like, this won't even recline. Thankfully, there was 2 seats next to you guys that when the movie started, no one took, so we switched, and those did work. But oh my God, I was like $18.75, however much this ticket was, and the fucking chair doesn't even recline. AMC, Nicole Kidman, I got a problem with you.
And I was low-key scared to move seats only because there was a TikTok a few weeks ago of a full-on brawl in a movie theater.
That
of
is
someone
so
sitting in
ghetto.
no decorum in the AMCs. And I was like, Brandon, let's just wait till the film like begins, like the lights go dark, then we can move. I was so nervous.
I just picture you drunk off of a Chili's margarita fighting some girl in the AMC movie theater in Deptford, New Jersey.
My jorts and Uggs. Ew.
We have to get the article scrubbed from the internet because it's everywhere.
Horrible.
And then we saw each other again Saturday. Lucky us. So the whole girlies weekend, we went to the PHS pop-up garden for our friend Tara's birthday. The city's just dead, you know, in the summer. I feel like it was just like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't even feel like I'm having a flop girl summer. I just feel like I'm just like, I'm kind of ready for fall. I just feel like I'm ready for things to get like popping again.
Yeah, you don't have to, just because you're not having like a thriving summer doesn't mean you're having a flop summer. You could just be having like a summer. It's just like an average, you know, it's just warm outside.
Yeah. Okay. No adjective, just literally summer.
Yeah, it's just literally summer. Yeah. But I will say, for the people who are in Philly, PHS Pop-Up Garden makes their drinks strong and delicious. Yeah. So if you are looking to go somewhere really easy, like low effort with your friends, you guys should go there. There's 2, right? Or is there just one?
There's
one in Manioc, right?
Oh, okay,
yeah, there's like a few.
Okay, it was the one on South Street was an absolute blast. Their drinks were delicious.
Yep. And then Sunday. Sunday. So there is a little street festival in Northern Liberties every year. It's just the Second Street Festival. Yeah. And they have these all over Philly in different areas. There's the Italian Street Market. There's the Manioc Street Festival. Now, this is our neighborhood, so we know a lot of people. So we decide that we're going to take a little stroll. And very wholesomely, we are in athleisure. We are not looking dolled up. Apparently, everyone was getting fucked up at this festival. Everybody was getting fucked up. And I'm turning heads, and I'm seeing bodies. Bodies. And that is when I had the realization, if you have been around the block, don't go to the block party.
Period.
You're going to see some people, some things. And I need to introduce my immunity necklace into this segment a little bit earlier. So here's my immunity necklace for this week. Why do grown men act different when there is liquor in their system? Like, if you are a gay or a girly, get that drink in you and send that text. But that is literally, that is for the girlies.
Yeah, you're a man.
I had this man who I have talked to on the internet occasionally, whatever. We met in person at the gym, and like it was a very like, hey, how are you? Like, nice to meet you, whatever. He never contacts me. Out of nowhere, he DMs me and he's like, hey, I'm at the Second Street Festival. Where are you? I go, I'm not there, because I wasn't there at that point. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, I'm not at the festival. And he was like, oh, well, you should come. I was like, yeah, I'm going there later. And he's like, great, let me know when you're here. I'd like to buy you a drink. And I was like, actually, I'm not drinking right now. I was like, I just started new medication. He goes, what, Ozempic? First of all, the way he gagged me. Yo, I said, no, actually, antidepressants. He said, oh, don't be sad. Then said something rude as fuck. And I was like, you know what? I go, I tried hitting on you years ago. And now you have a little alcohol in your system. You're a grown-ass man at the neighborhood block party, and you're going to now message me some old grinder fling from your past? Grow up. Grow the fuck up. Ask me over at 3 a.m. with your full-ass balls. Don't fucking tell me that you're at the fucking Northern Liberty Street Festival on a Sunday. What is this, your first beer, bro? Talk about it. I was just so icked out.
Stand on it.
Now, don't be fooled. I still don't have respect for myself. Like, I still, if he was to be like, actually act upon it and be like, you want to hang out? Of course I would. Yeah. I'm mentally ill. But for the time being, I was repulsed.
It's just crazy that he sent that on a Sunday. If you're going to send a ballsy text, I feel like Sunday might just be the worst day of the week to do that.
Sunday at 6 p.m., mind you.
Because it's just like, yeah, some people might be having a Sunday fun day, but a lot of other people might not be. And that's a very ballsy day to just be like, I'm going to send something mean and then also hit on you at the same time.
The festival brought out the freaks. I had 4 missed FaceTimes between the hours of midnight and 1 a.m. from a nice man. It's like, did you think I was answering that? It is a Sunday.
No.
And I didn't care about the festival.
Right.
And what makes you think I want to come to your house? It was so disrespectful.
I will say, though, I don't know what they had on that 2nd Street Festival. The young men in blue, the cops, every single police officer
the cops were
was fine as fuck. Like, I was stopping in my tracks like, ooh, like fucking goofy with my tongue on the ground. Like, it was insane. Like, dreadheads, men.
You guys couldn't have gotten in a fake fight or something?
I know.
Make them come over to you?
I was thinking, I'm like, this is the perfect day and scenario where, like, I bump into a guy and I say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, excuse me. Then, like, he gets my number. Then we go on a few dates and we start dating. And, like, it turns all out. Instead, I saw a few of my ex-situationships.
You had a really good corn dog.
Yes, I had a fabulous corn dog. It looked cute.
That's
We literally like went to get steps. Like the way that we walked directly in the middle of it. We didn't even stop at a booth. I think like, and then like we were people watching, but we were mortified by the people that we were watching.
Yeah.
I don't typically get anxiety in crowds. Like usually I love to be around people. I was swimming with anxiety. I was like, we can't walk in this crowd. I don't want to be around. I don't want anybody to see me. What if they know who I am? Like, it just was too much for me. I was overstimulated.
It's crazy. If I was in a drinking mood, there was because I mean, the 2nd Street is filled with every restaurant, with every bar, but like every single one of those restaurants had a booth. And everyone had margaritas. I'm like, why are y'all just trying to get people fucked up?
If it had been a different, there's nothing wrong with the festival. Honestly, it looked like a blast. And as we can see by the men who would hit us up, people were having a grand old time. We were just not in the headspace. It was, there was some wholesome families with children. We probably should have elected to either not go or get fucked up and draw like the fucking men in our DMs were doing. But yeah.
A lot of bad choices this weekend.
Yeah. And we have made even worse ones in our past. We were talking and we were just saying, we got to get a little unfiltered on here. We've got to like really talk about some questionable choices that all of us have made in the past, because right now we're kind of all like on our bullshit a little bit. We're going through it, but we're not like drawing the way that we used to. But that doesn't mean we can't pay homage to those memories. Does anyone want to kick off with like their most questionable, worst, most embarrassing choice that they've ever made?
I'm getting like heartburn thinking about it.
Well, you talked first, so it's your turn.
All right.
Popcorn failure.
So there's a few lessons to be learned from this story. Oh, God. So this was my 23rd birthday. I'm now 28, so this is 5 years ago. People have learned and lived. So, as you all know, I love my birthday, so I take it very seriously. This is my 23rd birthday. Me and Casey were living together, and I'm not farting. This is the chair. I feel like I was scooting down. You can just hear it. But so I just got banged up that night. I was drinking every liquor in front of me, and I don't know what happens January, mind you. My hair is down. I was wearing sandals. Like I was thinking about what I was wearing. I was wearing sandals, hair down, and I just got fucked up. And I don't know how we all split up, because I remember it was just me and my one friend, and we went to Tradesman. But we saw a young man there who I had previously hooked up with one time the weekend prior, just the one time. And I was gone. I was just blacked out. Like, it was bad. He was talking to a girl, and I just got on my Bailey shit. Like, if y'all knew me back then, y'all know and I was just like, yeah, who's this bitch? Like, I literally just sucked his dick the weekend prior. Like, there was no like relation. Like, it was bad. Me cussing, yelling, screaming. I think my shoe, like my foot came out of the shoe. It was one of those like black heels where the strap, like, what I'm talking about, like the classic black heel. My pinky toes were hanging out at one point. I got kicked out. Tradesman. Like, I got taken down the steps of tradesman in a leopard dress and heels. And gone at this point. I don't know where my other, because we both got kicked out, me and my friend. And I don't know where she went to. I think she just like went to another bar. And I was just stuck in the city. And I don't know if my phone was dead or like I was dead. But so these poor girls had to call me an Uber ride home back to like Roxborough practically to like Manayunk. And I was just like, I remember I was like I was crying the whole night. Like, I was just a hot mess. Nonetheless, I get back home, and Brandon and Casey are on the couch. And I don't think I remember you, like, seeing you guys. I, like, remember thinking, oh, my God, I'm finally home. I walk in. I'm, like, climbing up the stairs, knock on the door. The Uber driver said, ma'am, you forgot your purse and phone. Like, all of my birthday night. And I forget one major part of this story. And I think this actually happened when I got home, or probably in the Uber ride there to my home. So this young man I harassed, I ended up calling him between like 18 to 25 times in one singular night. So that was bad. I honestly don't think I had anxiety the next day. Like,
no, we didn't, because I also made a dumb decision that night, and I remember waking up the next morning, and I was like, we had the best birthday of our lives.
Smashing good time, like hell. So yes, I called that young man. He didn't answer any of those 18 to 25 times, probably 28 times. It was too many to count, but unfortunately, he did return those calls the next day, and he honestly probably stopped hitting me up like within the last 2 years. Like, he still came back. Like, even though I'm crazy, he literally, I mean, like, we would joke about, I'm like, you know, I called you like 25 times in one night. Like, I mean, I was young. But lesson learned here. It's okay to act a little crazy on your birthday. It's not okay to get so fucked up like that. And it's okay to be a little crazy to guys, because they will call you back. Like, not my best choice.
There is something so fun about acting so crazy to a man that you really don't give a shit about, but like you get just like a hint of alcohol in your system, and you're like, I'm going to take all the aggression in my life and just let it out on this person. That is so not okay, and I don't recommend doing it. But at the same time, every single person, whether you want to admit it or not, has done it. And like, you know, if it's going to be with the guy that you've only hooked up with once, there's not that much to lose. I'd rather it be on them than someone that I actually care about. So,
and I will say,
I will ride for you.
That, my 23rd birthday, I feel like that next week I had a job interview, and I got that job for 5 years. So, I mean, like, it wasn't that crazy time in my life. But like, I was 23, but yeah, it wasn't my brightest moment. Just looking at that, like looking at it now, I'm like, why were you so fucked up? And why were you like, people had to call me an Uber home?
Because we were living our best life. We have a great story to tell. That was my whole goal of my early 20s. I always said this. I was like, all I want is when I get older to look back and be like, damn, I was crazy. I lived a great life. Like, I never wanted to regret not doing something wild. So you know what? Right. You were living your best life.
Wow, you're right. I'm like sitting here just like looking at little Bailey in that leopard dress. Oh, all right. Yeah. Who wants to go next? I'm hot. I'm embarrassed.
I can go next. Mine's also about drinking. We need to paint the scene first. So this was, I don't know how many years ago this was.
2021? Are you talking about DC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
2021.
So 2021, Brandon got the opportunity to go to a Fisher show in DC. And it wasn't just like tickets to the show. It was like all access, VIP, backstage. We were going to meet him. And if there's one thing you should know about me, it is that if I want to do something, I will let nothing stand in my way. Not my job, not my car, not my financial means. Like, I remember a few years ago, Brandon was like, you always just figure it out. Like, you figure out how to make something happen. And I do. And at this time, Brandon reaches out to me and he's like, can you come to DC with me? I want to go to this backstage show. Unfortunately, I worked a terrible job where I worked Fridays and Saturdays until like 7 p.m. I worked 11 to 7 Fridays and Saturdays. So me and Brandon are literally like, have a whole ass whiteboard up trying to figure out if I leave at this time, like how can I get there? We end up figuring it out that I have to literally drive straight from work to DC, go to this show, wake up the next morning and immediately leave at like 8 a.m. to make it back to Philly in time to be at my job. So Brandon and I are in DC, we get fucked up, we go to this show. Not only do we meet Fisher and like pregame with him, he literally asks us to go on stage with him at the show and drink in his VIP booth. And that is unfortunately where my memory ends, because we got so fucked up, like blackout drunk. We were drinking, that was like one of the first times I'd ever drank 1942 like out of the bottle, and I was like chugging it. I don't even remember the show really.
Nope.
After the show, we go back to his green room. Brandon and I are fucked up. I have a 1-minute video on my phone that I have still not watched because it is just us blacked out at like 2 a.m. But anyway, so we go backstage, we get fucked up. I wake up the next morning at 11 a.m. I had to be at work at 10 a.m. I am in DC. So I wake up in a panic and I'm like, Brandon, I have to go to work. I grab all of my things. I pack them in the span of literally 5 minutes. I throw everything in a bag and I get in my car and I'm like, the only thing that I need right now is a wake up wrap from Dunkin' Donuts because that's my favorite hungover food. So I type in Dunkin' Donuts into my maps and I drive to one and it's closed. I make a super illegal U-turn. I'm like driving in the middle of the road to go to another Dunkin' Donuts. I finally get there. I get my wake up wrap. I drive on the highway. I have no fucking idea where I'm going. DC is so fucking hard to navigate and there's so many lanes, so I'm driving all over the place. I get pulled over. He comes over and I have never been able to use like the pretty privilege in my life when it comes to tickets. I've always gotten a ticket, but in this moment, I don't know how, I looked fucking horrible. But somehow my pretty privilege worked. And I was like, I'm so sorry, officer. I'm not from here. Like, I don't know where I'm at. Right. And he was like, okay, like, I get it. DC is pretty hard. He's like, listen, I'm going to let you go, but you need to drive more careful. You were driving really reckless out there.
It was like, reckless driving?
Yep. I was like, okay, got it. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like driving, I'm so scared to like speed, but I'm also 2 hours late to work at this point. And I was a store manager. So I had to like open up the fucking store. I had to text my coworker to like go unlock the door. I was like, I'm running a little late. Anyway.
In DC.
I get to work. I had to go to a fucking CVS next to my job because I forgot a toothbrush. So I had to brush my teeth in the bathroom of my job. And I had to do my makeup in the span of like 5 minutes because I had to start working. It was the worst day of my life. Flash forward a week later, I go home to visit my parents and my dad's like, what were you doing in DC? You got a fucking ticket in DC. And I was like, are you serious? The cop said he wasn't gonna give me one. And my dad was like, a cop? This is from one of those speed trap cams. He was like, you were speeding. What the fuck do you mean a cop? And I like ratted myself out that I got pulled over not once, but twice on my drive home from DC.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Simply
I
marvelous.
look back and I like, the thought of like even being like 10 minutes late for my job now gives me anxiety. And the way that I was like, nope, I need a wake up wrap and took 30 minutes out of my time to go buy a fucking wake up wrap
You
and
didn't give a shit about that job.
No, I was like, I don't care at all. And it was the worst day, but the best night ever. I mean, we met Fisher. So
Sometimes though, like if I'm late, like I might as well be late.
that's what I was like, what are they going to do? I'm in DC. There is
Yeah,
legitimately
exactly.
nothing that they can do.
Like, it's already 11 o'clock and you're in DC. You might as well get the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
So yeah,
Oh, man.
that was a poor choice, but a great story.
Well, I wish I could say that my choices were better than yours, but they weren't. So mine was when I was 21. And I was 20. Okay, bonus points. Wait. I was underage drinking. My bad. I was out with Casey and a girl that I was interning with, and we had a really fun night. And we Uber back to Casey's apartment because the girl that I had brought out with us that I was interning with, she was sober. She wasn't drinking. So she had driven her car to Casey's apartment and we got ready at Casey's. Then we went out. So she was like, oh, like, let's go back to Casey's apartment. I'll get my car and then I'll drive you home, Brandon. The reason why this is this long backstory will make sense in a second. So we're in an Uber. I am blacked out, like belligerently drunk. Casey is belligerently drunk, but also has to kind of keep it together because she has to take care of me. I am harassing this Uber driver. I'm like, oh my God, you're so cute, whatever. Just being obnoxious. Like I was like, do you drive often? Like just being the most annoying person in the world. Like Casey at one point is like, Brandon, he's trying to drive. Like you need to leave him alone. Like I'm just being the worst drunk person ever. So we get to Casey's apartment. Our friend that we were with, her name was Randy. Randy was like, Brandon, can you stay in this car for a second? I'm going to go get my car keys, and then I'm going to take you home. I was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, you don't mind, right, to the Uber driver? He's like, no, you're fine. So this is where the story takes a twist. The Uber driver looks at me. He goes, your friends are really beautiful. I go, yeah, I know. They're gorgeous. He goes, you're really gorgeous, too. I said, hold on a minute. I said, wait, I was like, you're kind of into this? And he was like, oh, like, yeah, like I don't like it's kind of on the DL. He also did not really speak English very well. I'm just gonna state that. So, but he was putting down the vibes. He was picking up the vibes that I apparently was putting down. So Randy taps on the window. She goes, "Okay, like let's go." And I go, "Actually, I'm gonna go home with him." And it was like a scene out of a movie. She like lowers herself, looks through the window at the driver. She goes, "You're taking him home?" And he just smiles and he's like, "Uh-huh." And she literally, straight out of the movie, she goes, "This night's fucking weird, whatever, like text me tomorrow." So I bring this Uber driver, who is 37 years old, back to my college house. Now, there are 2 other girls who lived with me. Thank God they were not home that night because that would have been really unsafe. I proceed to have sexual relations with this man. Not just once, but then I would text him every time I needed a ride rather than calling an Uber because I was a broke college student. So we would go out to the bar 5 minutes down the street from our house. And I would text him and say, "Hi, I need a ride." At one point, Casey was cashing in on it. And she decided, hey, if he's taking you home, I'm going to go home with you. And for 3 months, I would say, I was hooking up with my Uber driver. He did not speak English. He did not have a full set of teeth. But yeah, you know what? He really cared about me.
No, he was so nice. I will never forget the text message the next morning. Brandon goes, "You'll never believe who I hooked up with last night." And Bailey's fully crying.
I was waiting for the teeth the whole time. I'm sorry. Fuck. That was a great. He did care about you.
He was so nice. Like, I remember Brandon was like, "You'll never believe who I hooked up with last night." And I'm thinking he's talking about like an ex-situationship or someone crazy. And he goes, "The Uber driver." And I was like, "You cannot be serious right now." Flash forward a few weeks, and I remember one time Brandon texted me, and he was like, "Oh, my Uber driver just dropped me off for work." And it was 8 a.m. and he drove you to Urban Outfitters in Suburban Square.
That's right. So, you know what? Thank you for bringing that up. So, as I had mentioned, I started to really benefit from this relationship that I had started with my Uber driver. One night, I'll never forget this. We go out on, I want to say it was a Friday. We go to Manayunk Brew Pub, and it was a night where we all got bombed, like belligerently drunk. So much so to the point that I didn't make it to the 2 a.m. shift. I was the first person to leave because I had to evacuate the dance floor. It was a cascada. It had to go. So I text the Uber driver. I'm 5 minutes down the street from my house. I could have easily called a $7 Uber home. Nope. I texted Jacob. I said, "Jacob, you need to come get me." Jacob comes and picks me up. Now, the next day, I have an 8 to 2 shift at Urban Outfitters in Suburban Square. It is also my lovely store manager who has been working there for years last day. And the first 2 hours of this shift is just me and her. I wake up 7:41 a.m. Not the worst, but not the best because I woke up naked and hungover and I needed to get probably 20 minutes to Suburban Square. I noticed that the Uber driver is next to my bed and I know that the Uber driver has a car. So I shake him. I said, "Hey," I said, "you got to do me a really big favor right now." I was like, "I know that you're probably really tired, but you've got to get up and you've got to drive me to work." And you know what that man did? Just that. And he texted me a few weeks later and said, "I admire you." So
So nice.
I admire you.
Yep. He's the one that got away, I fear.
Yeah.
I fear.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Yeah, so I hooked up with my Uber driver for 3 months in college. Yep, that was my choice. Might have been my worst choice. Might have been my best.
Yeah, we're not sure yet.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a time.
What
Sad
about
that I
you?
have to go. Mine's not funny. It's honestly really scary, but it was a choice. So after I broke up with this man, I can't ever give myself a break. I just jumped to a new man. Brandon says it's a pattern that I need to get rid of. So we're working through that. But There's this guy that I worked with. He was like a developer on like software. So real crunchy. He was really good with computers, everything that I'm not into. But he was giving me attention and I thirsted for that. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll talk to you. So one day he came over to my desk. He's like, hey, do you want to go get Chipotle with me? And I was like, I guess, like, fine. He's like, can we take your car? And I was like, I guess, fine. And from that day forward, like, he was my lunch buddy. And then we just started becoming like kind of like besties at work. And everyone would talk about it, but I didn't think anything of it because I was like, oh, he's like just my friend. Then he developed a little crush on me. And again, I'm mentally ill, so I needed attention. And I was like, okay, I'll do this. And I asked him about his situation at home. It wasn't a ship. It was a situation at home. And he had a live-in girlfriend. So I was like, whoa, bro. Like, I've been cheated on my whole life. Like, I'm really not into this. I'm really sorry, but no. No. We're separated. Oh, so you're just like continuing out your lease. You guys aren't together, but you live together. So he's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Like, I live with my parents. There's not a chance in the world that anything's going to come from this. I don't really care that you have a live-in girlfriend. This isn't real to me. It was very much so real to him, to the point where he got blasted one night, probably like Brandon was in his car, in the Uber driver's car, and went home and told his live-in current girlfriend that he was in love with his coworker and that he needed to leave her and that I was the one. And then he proceeded to tell me that. And I was like, wait a minute. What? So work was very uncomfortable. At some points, I was like, I need to distance myself from this man. I started hearing things in the background that he was a little bit psycho. Like, not psycho, oh, he's crazy. I mean, genuinely, like, I'm actually going to punch you in the face and send you to the hospital, psycho. Right. So I was like, maybe.
Damn, Lindsay.
I know.
Right.
I know. So I was like, all right, I've got to get out of here. So we had a happy hour that week at Plaza Azteca in Plymouth Meeting. It was an excellent time. Great food, great drinks, better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Wait, is this when you came over to our
No.
house?
That was a different time.
Oh,
but the same gentleman.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no problem. So we were at a happy hour at Plaza Azteca, and I did work with one of my best friends at the time. Shout out Carly. She got me my job. And Carly and I were blasted at Plaza Azteca, okay? The two of us were absolute dickheads, just having the time of our lives. And we are at a large table with all of my coworkers, and usually with happy hours, you can bring your significant other. And this girl comes over and sits next to me, and she goes, hi, Lindsay. And I look at her, I'm like, wow, she looks so familiar. Like, where do I know this girl from? And then it clicked to me. I said, oh, that's her. That's her.
My
and
God.
she said, I see that we're all here. And I just want to let you know that I'm here and that I'm going to be here and I'm going to be there and I'm going to stay there. And I was like, ooh. And she clocked me. And you know what I did? Nothing. I just stared at her. And then I said, Carly, get your shit. We're going home. And I left.
Wow.
Shut up.
And I stalked her very recently just because I wanted to see what was going on. I don't think about this man ever. It's honestly a suppressed memory. I try not to think about it. But she left him and she is married to someone else.
We love that.
And
for her.
I think that she's doing very well. And I love that for her. She was a pretty girl, so good for her. But it was a really poor choice. Don't believe a man who lives with a woman who's like, oh, we're separated.
Did you like confront him after? And were you like, you're clearly still with this bitch? Why did you lie?
Right. So I did. But that, when someone is not all there, and there's nothing wrong with mental illness. Again, all four of us have them. But there is a difference between fun psycho and actually psycho. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to not push my luck here. I'm just going to let this go. So that was my worst choice.
Lesson learned.
Lessons learned. So hopefully the next one will be
Don't fuck
same.
around with your coworkers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Also, like, don't ever believe a man who like says he lives with a girl.
Don't ever
I mean,
believe a
that's
man.
not shame to you because I would have believed the same shit. The things I like believed when I was
22.
when I was 22, I believed the dumbest shit. But for anyone who's 22 and listening, if a guy tells you, "Oh, we just broke up," or "Oh, my ex is crazy," or "Oh, we still live together but we don't have anything," he is lying. He is not telling the truth. He is still with that girl and he is cheating on her.
Damn, all I'm learning from this episode is I should text my Uber driver.
Honestly,
just hearing it, like, he was a nice man.
just hear his voice.
kind of thinking about
he
him.
drove you to work.
He really was like, I feel like everyone has one like ex, and I don't mean ex as in like full dating like ex, but ex person that like weirdly really did like care about you and you had like a really good relationship with, and you look back and you're like, we would never date in any universe, but like there was low-key something there.
Yeah.
No, and something that I just remembered was, so that was like junior year of college, and I ended up doing an extra semester abroad 2 years later, and somehow he found me on WhatsApp and messaged me, and I was in Italy and he was in France. The way I should have just had a star-crossed lover like romance.
Oh, Brand.
That would have
Played
been
myself.
How beautiful would that have been? Like we met before. He was my Uber driver. Then we met back abroad. Like
I could have brought him back to the States, gotten him dentures.
Yeah.
Like,
Stop.
you and them damn teeth.
The worst thing that ever happened to me was I literally have a video from that night that I took of you because you were sitting in the front seat. So I have a video of you and him being like funny, but I fucking got my phone stolen at Voyeur 3 years ago and I got locked out of my Snapchat and lost every single one of my Snapchat memories from college. So unfortunately, that video does not exist anymore, but I would do anything to watch that
You
again.
just remake it.
True. Let's text him.
Live reaction on the podcast.
oh God. All right, girlies, can someone explain to me what is going on with this birthday drama that I'm seeing all over the FYP?
Casey's so much better at explaining things than I am. So. She doesn't stutter as much as me.
This is me and Bailey's girl. Bailey put me onto her like years ago, and I've been loving her since. This is about Reagan. Like everybody keeps saying in all the videos, Reagan 777, but that sounds like a gamer tag.
I think it's Reagan
Like
Corsi.
yeah, Reagan. She has like 3 accounts, 3 huge accounts on TikTok. She has a mukbang account. Like she was known for making transitions.
Yeah,
like,
she
back
does
in the
such
day.
cool transitions.
Anyway, we love her. She's a queen. And she had a birthday party recently. And this other girl who like is on TikTok, I think she has like 50,000 followers. I feel like that's the number I keep hearing on TikTok. She got invited to this birthday as a +1. And it had like a flyer. And she, I guess, was under the assumption that this was like a huge birthday party that they throw at like a club that the club sponsors, and it's this big thing. And so she was the +1 to this, and she went, and it was not that. It was an intimate birthday party that Reagan threw for her friends. There was a lot of people there, but it was like not a club scene. Like it was an invite only. This was her event. And this girl, I forget her name, was like Mary. Let's just call her Mary because it's easier.
Shit, I forgot, yeah.
So Mary goes to this, she comes home and she makes a TikTok and she's like, I'm being canceled because I left an influencer event early because I wasn't having fun. But this was the vibes of the party. And then this bitch plays a clip of the party, which like, it looks like it's early in an event. Like there's like a lot of empty space. There's only a few people in the clip. But she fucking edits over like the squeaky sneaker, like meme sound over that clip. So not only is there not a lot of people in that clip to begin with, you put this fucking meme ass sound over it and it's going to make it look stupid. And it like obviously is portraying that this like big influencer event wasn't fun. This girl ends up getting canceled for real because she's a bitch because she just talked shit on like a girl's actual birthday party.
Yeah.
Like that is like one of us having a birthday party, a friend of a friend coming, and then going home and making a TikTok that night being like, I did not have fun tonight because the vibes were so bad at this girl's birthday.
And it's crazy because she wasn't even getting canceled. I saw
Right.
her videos. She literally put up a video just saying like, get ready with me, I'm going to a birthday party. Didn't say whose birthday party. I think she maybe said Reagan's, but she didn't say anything about that. It was before she was going out. That's the only video she put up. Then the next one is her saying, I'm getting canceled. Like you,
Which is
Well, she did. The initial
Oh, did
video
she?
was her saying, get ready with me to go to Reagan 7. Like she full blown blasted it and it was a full blown clout chase. Like
Yes.
it would be, I'm going to Brand Flake's birthday party as a +1. And then I show up to the party and blast him. That was what it was giving.
And like I work in social media, there's a thing called a hook. It's the thing you say in the first 3 seconds of the video that hooks people in. Starting your video with I'm getting canceled is a great fucking hook to make people watch your video. She knew what she was doing. And then she just like the part that I just hated was like after, then it blows up on TikTok. Everybody's making videos about it. And she then makes a video and she's like, I was just saying my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you guys are all coming for me. And I saw this one guy stitch her video and he was like, let's normalize not giving our opinion on everything. Sometimes your opinion does not fucking matter. Your opinion means absolutely nothing. It was this girl's birthday. You're not a friend of hers. You were a +1. Just keep your opinions to yourself. There are so many things you can go to. And she could have left and not had fun and just wrote about it in her journal. But she like made a video about it. And I feel like the lesson is just like, you don't have to fucking say something about everything that happens. Us with a full podcast talking about everything we see.
It's crazy
but
because Reagan also put up a video of her vlog of the night and showed the time lapse. Like, obviously, if the party starts, I mean, it's for real. Like, a party that starts from, like, say it starts at 9, goes till 1, you don't show up right at 9. And that's what the girl did. And Reagan showed. I mean, Reagan was there at 9, and then probably at 11 o'clock, the place was packed like sardines. Like, when people actually get there, you know? So it's like, you're just lying out of your fucking ass.
It's also your birthday. Like, it is the one day of the year that is all about you. And you show up as an uninvited guest and provide your 2 cents. And the person that you're trying to clown is a person with millions of followers. You might as well have just said, well, I'm going to throw my social media career down the drain. I can't imagine anybody would want to follow her. And last thing, now that she claims she's being canceled, which I've probably seen maybe 30 stitches of this, no exaggeration. Like, she really is a name now on social media in a bad way. Make an apology video, babe. Say to Reagan, I'm so sorry. Instead, she 10-toed and she made a video, like Casey said, saying, I'm allowed to give my opinion as an influencer, blah, 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 blah. Like, babe, take a seat.
Well, Reagan's reached out to her. She even was on that girl's live and said, hey, can you answer my DMs to talk to me about this situation? And she's not.
Yeah, she's just milking it to get views.
Like, Reagan has even tried reaching out to the girl and saying let's there's no. Yeah.
The other thing I find interesting about it, as a point that I've seen a lot of people make, is as a +1, you have a job. Like, your job is to provide good energy and good vibes for the person that you're coming with and for the event you're going to. Like, as a +1, you're the last person who should be a hater at an event, even if it's a birthday party or if it was a full ass influencer event. You're the +1. Your job is to be there for the person you're going with. So it's if you're going to be the +1, you need to understand your job.
Do they know the girl who brought her?
I feel like that part hasn't come out yet, which is shocking that girl hasn't gotten
Damn, I have research to do.
Speaking of research, real quick, y'all know who Pookie and Jet are? This is
Yeah.
Pookie. Apparently, they met 9 years ago in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they're here right now. I think it was they just posted the TikTok yesterday and today. They're here in Philly, and I'm they met here.
Yeah,
that makes
I
me so
remember when they
happy.
had their first blow up, and they were we met in Philadelphia. I was like, what?
I forgot where they're at a restaurant. I forgot which restaurant they met at. I was like,
watch it. You know what? Let me not even say it. let me not.
Something with the TR. Not Tara, because I just made that up. Trina.
Tria?
Yeah. That.
You met Tria? Wow. Maybe I need to go there.
But it was cute. I saw in her video, she was like, Philly's such an underrated city. I love it here. It really is an underrated city.
I know.
I can't wait for fall.
Oh, I know.
I can't wait for everyone to just be back. I feel like everyone's so spread out right now.
I know.
Is anything on, Brandon, anything on your FYP besides this drama?
I have been trying to stay off social media these past few weeks.
You've been good.
Yeah, I've just been with my anxiety right now, I'm just trying to just almost learn how to walk again. And I'll go on when I want to post a video, but I just feel there has been so much drama on TikTok recently that I opened the app and I'm I just want to see something funny. And everything is just oh hell, the world is on fire. Close it. I can't fucking deal with it. I'm definitely on Kamala Harris TikTok. I fucking love her.
My queen.
I love who. It was so funny. I just saw this whole TikTok that was this isn't a Gen Z intern running her account. It's an agency millennial. And I was you're absolutely right. They're putting their back into it. So I've been keeping up with our girl.
They're doing such a good job on her TikTok. It should be literally studied in schools because they are just doing everything right. They're using the right trends. There's nothing worse than when somebody tries to use a trend and they're just a little bit close to it, but they get it wrong. And it's oh, that's not the whole point. They're getting every trend right. They're using the right sounds. They're targeting the right people. I love it.
Beat down.
Love it. Anyone have any unsolicited recommendations besides
do.
avoiding fucking men?
Damn.
Sorry.
Yeah, I actually watched Planet of the Apes the other day. Wait,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I know y'all don't watch this shit. You know I love these weird ass movies. But if you need a good movie to watch, that's a high budget film. Hold on IMDb real quick. It's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes that just came out this past year. It's on Hulu now. Love when they do that. Because it's a 2.5 hour movie. So if you're like me and you need to split movies into mini series, I watched it in 2 days. I did an hour one day, hour and a half the next. Nonetheless, the budget for that film is great because it's a weird. I think I did. Am I having deja vu? Have I talked about Planet of the Apes on here before?
No.
I don't know, maybe. I feel like
Okay.
you've definitely
Track.
talked to me about it before.
I probably talked to you about like off your ear, but it's very like realistic. It's about like us humans produce some type of medicine that makes the like apes, gorillas, all those type of primates like stronger, and they end up taking over the world, and we become like the lesser like what are we human
Species?
Yeah, species. So, like the monkeys, like they can talk. Like it's very it's very scary to like I'm like, oh, this could happen. Like and but the actors, because they're like apes, gorillas, you can't get like talking apes, gorillas, whatever. It's all they're actual actors, and the actors are like they do like they walk like the monkeys. It's the most insane budget because like you think the monkeys are real, but I know it's the actors. And I think that's just like amazing. But you honestly like if you want a good movie, watch that, and you honestly don't have to watch the other two. Like I watched the first one. It's a good film. Like James Franco is in the first Planet of the Apes, so it's like a.
Okay.
Who knew this franchise was so
I know.
like well thought out?
I was so happy when I saw it on Hulu. I'm like, yes. Like it's little things about Billy. I love those type of like sci-fi. Why are you shaking your head?
Believe in you. And your movie recommendations. Wait, I have to go back to FYP just for a hot minute.
Let's hear about it.
Does anyone follow Corinna? Does anyone know who that is?
Wait,
Koff?
yeah. Talk about it, and I feel like that like name is popping up, but I can't picture who it is in my head.
Okay. I've just seen a lot of this. So this girl blew up on TikTok because she posted a video, honestly just speaking her truth, saying, I've been really into chicken nuggets. And that was literally the video. It got millions of views. Ken Urich posts about her every single day. Like she is beloved in the TikTok world. She is so candid on the screen. Like she is just that girl. And we've all learned to love her. She posted a video recently saying that she was getting off of TikTok, a dramatic video. So first she got a boyfriend and everybody's like, oh, we're so happy you're in love. And then she posted this video of her DB down bad Deborah. And she goes, I'm leaving TikTok. This is my choice. So all of the girls in the comments were like, please don't go. We need you. Don't leave us, blah, blah, blah. And allegedly she was supposed to be off of TikTok by this Sunday, but her videos are still up. So I don't know if anybody's seen that. Like, I guess it's drama, but like, I don't know what the lore is behind Corinna getting off of social media.
Yeah, she didn't say why.
No, like there's something behind. You guys, when I tell you this is like a huge thing on TikTok. Like, I
gotta
can't
get back
believe none
on
of
the
you have heard
app.
of it. And
I
this is
definitely
not
seen
even,
it, and I know who you're talking about, but
Okay.
I saw people like making a video. Some girl was like crying in her shower, and it was like when you find out that Corinna's like getting off TikTok or something, and I was like, oh, I didn't understand like the situation behind it.
Oh, wow. So yeah, sorry. Just had to run it back to FYP real quick.
It's gonna pop up on my For You page. Everything we talk about always pops up on my For You page. Like leave the woman you talked about last week with the
Don't talk about my girl like that. Do
upper
not.
region. She's on mine.
I told Brandon recently, I was like, I want Ozempic so badly, like semaglutide or whatever that is. I was like, we'll go. I need it. Every single ad on my Instagram was just Ozempic,
shit.
within minutes of me saying it.
Yeah, they're pushing that out.
So if any doctors want to give me a discounted,
No, we're gonna end it there.
Yeah.
Nope.
Between us, Ozempic.
Keep everything, especially on this episode, Jesus.
Yeah.
Keep everything between us, girlies.
bye.